Good morning, cool cats. Today's reading selection is going to be Hooway For Wodney Wat. This is by Helen Lester and illustrations by Lynn Munsinger. You might recognize her pictures from some of the other books that we've read throughout the school year. I'm trying to get a little bit better at showing pictures. Mrs. Clark is new to this and you know how I feel about computers. Okay, Hooway For Wodney Wat. Poor Wodney Wat. His real name was Rodney Rat, but he couldn't pronounce his R's. To make matters worse, he was a rodent. A wodent. "What's your name, Wodney?" asked the other rodents. "Wodney Wat," whispered Wodney. "What's another name for a bunny?" they asked knowingly. "Wabbit," he mumbled. "And how does a train travel?" They winked at each other. "A twain travels on twain tracks," Wodney replied miserably. All of this teasing day in and day out made Wodney the shyest rodent in his elementary school. His squeak could barely be heard in class. He gnawed his lunch alone. And while the other rodents scurried and scooted about at recess, Wodney hid inside his jacket. Then one day, as the rodents were taking turns doing wheelies, a new rodent, a very large rodent, barged into the classroom and announced, "My name is Camilla Capybara. I'm bigger than any of you. I'm meaner than any of you. And I'm smarter than any of you. So there," she added. And with that, she accidentally, on purpose, bumped an elbow, bumped two noses, stepped on three tails, and laid down on a desk. Fur prickled in fear through the classroom. She sure was bigger than any of them. She sure looked meaner than any of them. Was she smarter than any of them? "What's 4 plus 4? Asked Miss Fuzzleworth. "8!" shouted Camilla Capybara without even bothering to raise her paw. "And furthermore, 8 plus 8 is 16, and 16 plus 16 is 32, and 243 plus 125 is 368. And later, when Miss Fuzzleworth asked, "What's the capital of—" Camilla interrupted. "New York! Albany! Population 295,594. And during science, in answer to the question, "What part of a plant is below the ground?" Camilla Capybara danced on her desk and sang, "Root, root, rooty toot toot." Yep, thought all the other rodents. She's smarter than we are too. And they felt very, very uncomfortable. Every afternoon, just before the final recess, Miss Fuzzleworth drew a name from her hat to see who would be the leader of their favorite game, Simon Says. She scrunched her eyes closed and jiggled the hat. Would it be Hairy Hamster? Minnie Feet Mouse? Grizzlefizz Guinea Pig? Could it be big, mean, smart Camilla Capybara? Miss Fuzzleworth's paw reached in and pulled out the name of Wodney Wat. The bell rang and there was a wild scurry for the door, and Camilla Capybara was the first on the playground, having trampled all the others in her path. To Wodney, she looked especially scary. What would she do when she heard him speak? Breathe capybara breath in his face? Or tie him up in his own tail? Or even pounce on him? The tiny, trembling leader of the game stood before the eager players, his head well inside his jacket, and squeaked, "Wodney says read the sign." Now, while the other rodents read, P.S. Elementary School 142 for rodents, Camilla began pulling up weeds around the sign, wildly flinging the dirt hither and yon, till she was clear up to her teeth in dirt. The other rodents began to smile. Wodney says, "Wrap your paws around your head." And he peeked a little out of his jacket and saw, whap, whap, whappity, slappity, whap! Camilla was whapping her paws around her head so hard she became dizzy and gave herself a headache and had to sit down. The other rodents couldn't help giggling. Wodney says play wing around a wosy. Camilla put her arms out like wings and made airplane noises. Nah. But where was the wosy? What was a wosy? By now, Wodney's voice was stronger and his head was entirely out of his jacket. "Wake the leaves!" Nobody moved. "Wodney says, wake the leaves." While Hairy, Minniefeet, and Grizzlefizz and the others busied themselves raking, Camilla Capybara grabbed one leaf and shouted, "Wake up!" She snatched another. "Come on, you! Up, up, up!" And another, "Rise and shine!" And another, "Boo!" By now, all the other rodents were squealing with laughter. All but Camilla, who frowned. "Dumb leaves, they won't wake up." And why was everyone laughing at her? Such bullies. In a voice so strong he had to hold his own ears, Wodney called, "Wodney says go west." The rodents collapsed in a happy heap for a rest. Go west. Camilla Capybara, feeling very smart that she could tell directions by the sun, said, "All right, I shall go west." And then she added, "So there." West she stomped. Forever. She was gone. From that day on, the pupils of PS 142 Elementary School for Rodents never teased Wodney again. He was their hero. "Hooway for Wodney Wat!" they cried. "Woot, woot, wooty toot, toot!" I hope you enjoyed Hooway for Wodney Wat this morning. Stay tuned a little bit later today. I managed to go sneak into our classroom and I brought home double fudge. I'm going to try to do a chapter every day so we can keep up with our book. I know you've missed it as much as I have. Okay? Have a great afternoon. Remember to look for this first chapter a little bit later today. See you later. Bye.